The main thing, are you happy with sighting your caravan as in levelling left to right and then front to back for your levelling?
No, well, I know about the
legs.
The legs.
So the legs are more designed as a stability,
Yep.
rather than for levelling the trailer.
Okay.
So obviously, most of the pitches you'll go to will have hard standing.
Yeah.
So 9 out of 10 times they are level, but obviously if you're in a farmer's field or something along them lines, you may find that you need to level it up.
Yeah.
So levelling for left to right, as I call it.
Yeah.
If you get in there and you see you've got to lean to the left, what you need to do is reverse further past where you want the caravan to sit, and then you can either use some ramps or scaffold boards are quite a good one, or obviously just build up to whatever level you need to raise it up, and then always drive the caravan onto the wood. Never try and push it upward, because what you'll find is when you're pushing it up, the brake will push on here, and you'll struggle to push it up onto it, so always pull it up.
This is the wheels.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you're levelling it left to right, you put wood underneath the wheels to level it, and then obviously for front to back then, it's all off the jockey wheel then.
Okay.
So what you can do is, if you are finding that once you've taken it off the car and everything, you've wound this all the way up and your nose down, so you still need to come higher, what you can do is wind your 2 front legs down, wind the jockey wheel up, drop it down, and then obviously you can wind it up further.
Use this for shifting the load.
Yeah, so your legs are fine as a sort of supporting aid, so you can adjust the jockey wheel, but your legs are there for stability, not for leveling the caravan.
Yep.
Okay. So I don't know what your old van was.
No, we're new to this.
I told him that we had a...
Oh, the old, it was not anything...
Not as modern.
No.
Well,
it was a long time ago.
It may be similar, because quite even the old ones had the stability bars.
Yeah.
Now, so this is a stabiliser hitch, so you've obviously got your main hitch underneath, and this is a stabiliser hitch. If you look, if I close this down, you'll see when this closes. Do you see how it closes in? So when it's up, it opens out, and then when it pushes down, it closes in. So what this is doing is gripping onto the side of your ball. I will get some lovely sandpaper, because I'll have to take the paint off your ball.
Oh, that's no problem.
Yeah, because it has to be a clean, grease-free.
Okay.
So obviously this works off friction. So obviously if you've got grease or anything on it, this won't add to the stability of the trailer. Okay. So next one here is, this is your breakaway cable.
Yeah.
And then obviously you've got your handbrake on here. So your handbrake is just simply push down for off and then pull up for on. There's no button like your car or anything, it's simply push down and pull up.
It's not latching, it just position it in, ends up in, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when you pull it up, you'll find it'll stop there. If you're on a slight downhill slope, it will naturally itself pull on further for the stronger that the brakes need to be applied. Okay. So then you've obviously got your jockey wheel, and then your power and your light socket as well. Also, you've got the lovely ATC on here.
Yes.
Which is the next stability for the caravan. So what this is if you start to get a snake on down the road, it'll automatically apply the brakes on the caravan to stabilise it for you.
Yeah.
Sadly, that's my compressor for our workshops either side, so it may go off occasionally. I will apologise for it. So on the ATC, what it'll do when you plug it into the car, obviously I'll show you that afterwards, it'll make a noise of the system setting itself. It'll start off with a red light, and then it'll go to either a green flashing light or a solid green light. The green flashing light just means that the system's still setting itself.
Okay.
So what you'll find is you can pull the caravan a few metres down the road, get back out and check it, and it'll turn to the green light then.
Okay.
I will tell you about the red lights. Hopefully this isn't a problem you should have for a good few years, but just so you do know, if you ever get a red light, the first thing to try is just disconnecting it from the car, leaving it a few seconds and then plugging it back in again.
Okay.
It's like anything that's electric nowadays and computerised, same as your Sky at home, what do they always say? Switch it off and switch it back on again. If you are finding when you switch it back on and you're still getting the red light, what you can do is release the handbrake, see if the brakes are engaged on the caravan. If the brakes aren't engaged, you are safe to tow it down the road, but it's just that the AT system isn't working.
Okay.
But obviously if the brakes are applied, then it's not safe to tow around the road, so you need to get on the phone to us here or send someone out to you. Okay?
Yep.
Yep, perfect. Right, so gas cupboard on the front. So inside here we've got your leg winder and also a wheel brace.
Yep.
Now we've got onboard regulators now, so they're built in. The only thing I need to know is what gas bottles do you run off?
Yeah,
Normally.
I've just bought a couple.
Oh, is it the red?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
All it is the trailers don't come with a gas pipe, but I will fit one for you today. So as long as I know what gas you need, I'll make sure you've got a pigtail fitted in there ready for you today. Okay, there is a shut off here for the gas, but obviously we recommend the easiest way of shutting your gas is just turning it off via the button.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, happy with everything on the front end?
Yep.
Fantastic. Well, we'll keep going around the side. So here, this is your Aldi heat vent for your boiler and your hot water.
Okay.
On some of the old ones, you had to remove the cover for it to run on gas. With these vents now, it will run on gas electric or gas and electric, and you don't have to worry about removing any vents or anything, so it just sits there and it does its job.
Yep.
Okay. Next down, we have your water inlet. It's just as simple as pull the lever and pop it off. So to put it back in, same again, just push till it clicks.
Okay.
Okay, and then obviously on the end of your water pipe, you've got a small water filter, and the pump for the water system is built in on board.
Okay.
Okay.
That's under that seat there. All the electrics, is it?
Yeah, all under the bench
Yeah,
seat.
so
in there,
they're all in the same area.
So obviously here, they have delivered your lovely leisure battery, so I will get that fitted in for you today. Obviously we've just got running off one of our leisure batteries now, just so we can show you. So the next thing in here, obviously your 240 hookup.
Yep.
And then the isolator for your motor mover as well. As I say, once we're finished with all the inside and everything, I'll come back out and show you the function of the motor mover as well.
Okay. Sorry, this is the isolator, mains isolator, full stop, or is that?
No, this is just for your motor mover.
Okay.
So this is to operate your motor mover, obviously, when you're moving it around on the site and things. Sometimes it's easier with the motor mover than it is trying to reverse in a tight little space. But as I say, I'll explain everything for that afterwards. So obviously it runs primarily off your 12-volt system. So the main purpose of your 240 is to recharge up your 12-volt system.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so there is some functions at the 240, so like your plug sockets and things like that won't work without the 240 in.
Yep.
But other systems will run off the 12-volt.
Okay.
But obviously it will only run for a certain amount of time because the charge in the battery all comes from your 240.
Yeah.
Okay. So your fridge vents on the back. I have got it running on gas at the minute, so you will find you get a lot of heat coming out of this side because that's the gas vent for it. Your waste pipes, or your waste outlets, are just on the bottom there.
Okay.
Okay, normally, obviously, you'd have your two grey pipes going into the one, and then your waste master
Yep.
down the other side. So, toilet. Did your old van have a toilet? Do you have a toilet cassette?
It must have done.
It must have, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
did.
it
It did.
Yeah. Let me just grab the keys to the top one.
Do you need a bucket?
No. Okay, that's what we bought those two pipes for.
No, do you need a bucket just to...
No.
Right, so on this toilet, you've got a lovely flush tank, so it doesn't use the fresh water to flush the toilet. So I'll find the right key there. There we go. So it's got a separate flush tank. So in the top, it's water and then the pink liquid.
Okay.
So what that does then, it obviously flushes the toilet with a fragrance water. So it's obviously it keeps a nice smell in your toilet for you. So then the toilet cassette below.
What's the capacity of that about?
So it's a very good question. I will have to ask that question.
Oh, how do you know it's full?
You can see it. Yeah, you can see it from here when you fill it up at the top. It is a very good question. I do know a man that I can ask for the answer to the question.
No, it's okay. I'll find out myself over time. So.
Well, you find. I mean, I'll show you when you do flush the toilet. It doesn't use masses of water. It's certainly not like a toilet flush that you have at home. So it's only a small quantity.
Okay, it's loaded now though, is it?
No, they're all empty at the minute.
Okay.
They're all empty at the minute. So then obviously your toilet cassette is just as simple as lift it out, pull it out, then just drain it or empty it. It's just unscrew the cap, take it to the service point, tip it up and then press the button which releases the air so you can empty the cassette.
Okay.
The main tip I'll give you for this is when you're there, don't put that on the wall next to where you're leaning in, because if you knock that in and it goes into the pit, for starters, I wouldn't want to be the person retrieving it back out of there, and I don't think the campsite owners would be very happy if you got their system up. No. So the best little tip is just to pop that on the floor where you stood, and then you've got no chance of knocking it off into the wall. So obviously when it comes to winter time,
Would you press it again?
don't think that was the camera.
No.
So, obviously in winter time, it's important to drain any fluids out of the van. So this black pipe at the top here empties your flush tank.
Okay.
So obviously when it comes to winter, all you simply do is pull the bung out at the bottom there, and you'll drain the flush tank out.
Fine, yeah.
What you can do is just drain it into a bottle or something, and then keep it for next season. Because obviously it's only a fragrance water in there, so it's perfectly fine just to keep for next year,
Okay.
rather than wasting it.
Yeah. What's the bit down there, the underneath there? Is that a removal? Or is that just a flood kind
Yeah,
of?
no, that's just a breather hole that is
Okay,
there,
yeah.
so you don't have to worry about that too much. So this is the most important thing is obviously your toilet cassette.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll keep coming round back. So obviously your two front legs are on the sides of the caravan at the front,
Yep.
and then your two rear legs are just on the back end.
Yeah.
But you can see,
And there's a jacking point. So
yeah.
okay. Yeah.
So the two for the rear legs are always on the back end, and then the two for the fronts are both on either
Outboard,
side.
yeah.
So, coming round to this side, wheels and tyres. They've made it really easy for us now. All the information you need is on your door here.
Yep.
So both of the tyres are 52 psi, and then also for your wheel nuts is 130 newton metres. So your wheel nuts have been torqued in our PDI. I've got a torque spanner, so I'll do it again today.
Okay.
Obviously from today onwards, if you've got a torque spanner, fantastic. If you haven't, just your tyre iron, you know, that I showed you in your gas cupboard, will be perfectly fine. The main thing is, before you set off on every journey, is just to check that your wheel nuts are tight.
Okay.
The main thing is, quite often with caravans, is they're left, and you don't know who's been tinkering or playing around with them. You never know, someone may have been trying to pinch your wheels or anything silly.
Yeah.
And for something that takes you 30 seconds to check that they're tight, will obviously, save you a lot of money, because if that wheel falls off and the caravan hits the deck, it's a very, very costly repair.
Okay.
So, keep moving down this side. Oh, I can never open these ones.
It says to open, swear a lot.
Yeah. Do you know, I can never get them to open. There's a technique to them, and in the 5 weeks I've been here, I certainly haven't learnt it yet. Do you know, I may have to get one of my technicians to come.
Okay.
And,
What is it
get
anyway?
that to release. That should be the 240 external socket in there. So it's a 240 plug socket on externally. So when you're outside here, you can plug a light in, or obviously you can plug a radio.
Sorry, what was the one over the other side then?
So that's your 240 hookup. So your 240 hookup is...
Oh, I see. This is a takeoff.
Yes. So
Yep.
so this on this side is a 240 socket, like your normal plug socket
Yep.
at home.
Yep.
So
Fine.
it's that style. But I will grab a technician. What they may have done is sometimes when they're putting them in, they get a little bit of sealant in the side of them, and they tend to seal them up. But I will get one of the guys to come down. So, obviously, first cupboard underneath. The main thing to show you in here is the box here.
Yep.
So this is your alarm box. It's obviously got an alarm fitted. It's got its own battery system in there, so
Okay.
even if your leisure battery goes flat, your alarm system will still run for up to 3 months
Fine.
off its own power supply. So you know that you're happy if you've left it somewhere for any period of time. You know at least you've got a minimum of 3 months life on your alarm system.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's just an audible alarm. It just bleeps and...
Yeah, so exactly the same as a car alarm. They are relatively loud, so you certainly can't miss it going off.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
But it doesn't stop it moving.
No. No, they don't. But you know what it's like nowadays? You can have all the safety features in the world. You can have everything. Sadly, nowadays, if someone really wants to pinch it,
I understand that. Yeah.
they will pinch it. So this one at the front here, this is your external barbecue point.
Okay.
So obviously, if you do you have an awning?
Yes.
You're looking at getting an awning.
Yeah.
Obviously, the main bit of advice if you are using a gas barbecue is always do your cooking on the outside of the awning.
Yeah.
You may laugh. We have seen a few people doing it on the inside. And you have carbon monoxide.
Yes.
Yeah.
So obviously, if you're cooking, just always make sure.
Yeah.
We
You
don't, we've got just a small a small porch one, so it wouldn't go that far anyway. So
Yeah, that's all right.
so
Now,
we'll do it.
apart from me not being able to open your thing, that's about everything on the outside of the,
Okay.
the van. Are we happy with everything on the outside?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, perfect, fantastic. Well, if you want to jump in your new purchase, Dan.